Welcome, everybody. My name is John Immel. I'm the director of the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. Tonight, we're talking about our online Ayurveda certification courses. And I think everyone comes to Ayurveda for a slightly different reason. They're called to it, and Ayurveda seems to exude something special or different from other healing systems, and I think that there's a good reason for that. And I talked about it just a little bit with folks before the call. But in some ways, Ayurveda is an umbrella system of healing. It provides a tool and a means of analyzing all other healing systems, especially any other natural healing systems. And I often use it myself to analyze other tools, other techniques, a particular herb. And so one other person said just before the call, they were talking about the holistic nature of Ayurveda. And I think that is especially true. That word holistic gets thrown around a lot, and often it's used to mean, say, like a whole medicine. In other words, they'll talk about using a whole herb instead of an extract from the herb, like using turmeric instead of curcumin, which is an extract. And that is one aspect of holistic. When we say that Ayurveda is holistic, what we're talking about is something much deeper. That Ayurveda gives a way to examine the whole person. And I don't just mean asking the person a lot of questions about their different symptoms, because you can do that with Western medicine also. But what Ayurveda provides is a way of integrating all of those different questions and details about a person's body into a summary whole. It puts it together in a very elegant way, and that ends up being very surprising. Ayurveda's elegance and neatness is very surprising to people once it clicks in, and that's what makes it really powerful, is that it's a means to get a perspective on a whole picture of things: the person, their environment, the food that they're eating, and the medicines that they're using, and putting that all together and into a singular vision that can be used to aid and help the person, to support them in being stronger. Now, you may have heard, and I think you hear this from many different systems, these claims about miraculous healings and things like that from using a particular herb, or even from using Ayurveda. You may have seen language like that. And I want to help interpret that just for a minute as we dive a little bit more into the certification courses. That Ayurveda provides a way to support the body. And through that support, it provides a means of fighting disease also, and it's great. But when we're talking about these claims like miraculous healings and things like that, we're pointing to is Ayurveda's ability to support the body. That holistic vision and singular vision and perspective that Ayurveda offers really empowers the person to understand the way their body works uniquely. And then they can do many things to support themselves. And it doesn't matter what disease condition you have. When you support yourself, you improve outcomes. You improve quality of life. And I think Ayurveda is just so excellent at doing that. And I'm really delighted to teach that whole system, and to be able to offer it and to show other people Ayurveda, because what that means to me is the beginnings of a grassroots movement for people to be able to help themselves, for people to have perspective on themselves. Right now, we're dealing with a national crisis in regards to coronavirus. It's not just a national crisis, but it's an international crisis. And over the last few weeks, I've worked really hard to provide some kind of analysis for what people can do to help themselves at home. And you can find that on the Joyful Belly website and on our YouTube channel. You can get some of those articles on coronavirus and lung health and all kinds of things that will show you how Ayurveda would approach a condition like that. But even beyond Ayurveda's use in a specific condition is Ayurveda's use for you, the whole person, making you a healthier person. And so I'm going to provide little insights into that even throughout our talk today. And certainly in the course, you will get that in every single lecture of the program. Are these sort of aha moments that come from Ayurveda where things click in. It's not about memorizing this whole library of information that you might get if you study in other traditions. That's not the way it's going to be. We're going to put things together. It's not going to feel like you are a walking library when you're done, but that you are a deeply integrated person when you are done. So the richness of the program and also the insight in the program sort of come together in a whole model and approach. So yeah. So let me give you an overview of the courses themselves, and like I said, along the way we'll talk about insights into Ayurveda too. This is what I look like. Again, my name is John Immel. I'm the founder and director of Joyful Belly Ayurveda. And let's talk about the first course, the Fundamentals of Natural Medicine. This course is a 750-hour course in Ayurvedic medicine that's entirely online. There's no travel required. It includes 3 coaching calls a week. That's where students in every time zone can attend, where we're going to discuss all the materials. And with that will be 3 pre-recorded presentations each week. So what you'll do is you'll listen to those 3 presentations, and then we meet to talk about them, right? You don't need me to repeat the same thing over and over again every year. Instead, what we did was we took a team of Ayurvedic teachers and invested an extraordinary amount of time in each of the presentations that you'll receive in the program, putting together images, concepts, and ideas that the whole entire team came together and agreed on. When you listen to these lectures, it won't be hard for you to imagine that we spend up to maybe 40 hours on each lecture in the program, putting it together, a tremendous investment on our part to deliver really quality recordings to you. And then we meet together to talk about that information and share what we've learned, share our questions. And as part of that, each teacher in those live calls will be sharing their unique flavor and approach to Ayurveda. In that course, in the first year, you'll complete the basic training in Ayurveda fundamentals. And then in the second year, it's going to be all about application, including clinic, supervision, and clinical review for 50 plus client encounters. And I put that plus there. It's actually a big plus. It's 95 total in the program that we offer you, both in observing other students, presenting their clients, presenting your own clients, meeting with clients, meeting with students, and hearing teachers do case studies. As part of second year, we'll also be giving you a complete model and vision for how to use Ayurveda as a business, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? When I started in Ayurveda, I made a lot of mistakes trying to promote it to the outside world and trying to offer it to the public. Well, why repeat my mistakes? I can just give you some of the tips and tools that I used to successfully bring Ayurveda to the public and actually make an impact in my community and in my world. And so that's our goal, right? Our goal is that you can thrive and bring this to your community. And however big your community is, nationally, internationally, your local town, in all those areas, I will show you how to operate. So let's see. The second course is our Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition course. And this is a 1-year, 500-hour course that goes much deeper into the area of digestive health and food, but doesn't have the broad scope of the other course. So the first course is the 2-year course that's very broad. This course is very narrow and in greater depth. So both courses include digestive health and wellness, because digestion is part of Ayurveda's core. It's one of the areas where I think Ayurveda can make such a great impact in public health. So that's part of the reason why we've offered this specialty course that goes so deep into it. But both courses include it. So in this course, it's 10 months long, and it's designed to elevate your knowledge and expertise in digestive health and food to a level of mastery. And it's really a very unique course. It's one of its kind, and I think it's so fascinating to just go to the next level. Now, some people take this course first and then broaden their scope with the 2-year course. And other people get all the fundamentals in the 2-year course and then dive deep into this course after they graduate, or some people take them in tandem, and some people just take one or the other. You don't have to take both of them. So both courses, when you graduate, you can begin seeing clients and offering Ayurveda's tools and wisdom to the community. So let me go back into this one a little bit and just tell you the format is substantially similar to the fundamentals one, in the sense that we'll have 3 live calls a week where we talk about the materials that you have been learning. Both courses have a heavy experiential component. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to be doing weekly body awareness experiments to put Ayurveda to good use. And when we get together, we're going to talk about those as well. I think that's one of the unique aspects of this program is the experiential nature of what we're doing. And I'll say this over and over again throughout today's talk and throughout the course, is that it's really easy to present Ayurveda as this sort of mystical, exotic thing from the other side of the world. But that's not the aim of our program. The aim of our program is to present Ayurveda in this very natural way, and using, always striving to communicate Ayurveda's process in this very natural way, so that all of you will understand it, and it won't appear like something ancient and mystical, but something very practical, very usable, because that's what Ayurveda is designed to be. It's designed for you and me. It's designed for community. It's designed for grandmas and grandpas to communicate it to the next generation. In addition to it being a professional practice, where those who have gone deeper into it, like you will, can continually revive it in their communities. So I mentioned some of this earlier, what you will gain, and that what you will gain is a development of your insight and intuition on how the body works. And I use the word intuition a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because for some people, intuition just means you feel your way into it. And Ayurveda is not just that light, right? It's not just a feeling. Ayurveda is a whole structure and a model to inform your intuition, to inform your insight, and also it exists as a science to be able to describe that relationship of our body with food in very concrete terms. And you'll see how Ayurveda truly does or truly is a bridge between the science of medicine and the art of medicine. So both courses are designed to be an immersion. They're challenging courses, not because they're difficult to understand, but because Ayurveda is a whole new way of thinking, and also because the presentations will be very rich and have a lot of depth in them. It's the kind of thing where you listen to the presentation once, and then you listen to it a month later, and you like learn just as much the second time as you did the first time. And so Ayurveda, by its nature, is requires contemplation. You can't just stuff it all in. So we will grow together in Ayurveda and in the application and use of it. And you'll see that it will be a great challenge, and it'll be an incredible challenge, but it will never be above you. You in the first 6 months, I always tell people are always so underconfident. In the first 6 months they learn Ayurveda. I was too. I would go home from class and I would feel like my brain was about to melt, but it wasn't because anything was difficult. It was like the feeling of riding a bicycle for the first time or studying a foreign language. Now, I've studied several foreign languages in depth, French, Bengali, Arabic. And whenever I would learn a new language, I would also feel like my brain was about to melt, because it's like you're expressing yourself in a whole new way. And Ayurveda gave me that feeling as well. It's the only other subject where I really experienced that outside of learning a language. And so your brain will probably be like that too in the first 6 months. And then I tell students every time, it's just don't worry about that. If you feel a little underconfident in the beginning, about month 6 is when it starts to really click in and you can put it all together, right? Because you can learn the pieces and parts of Ayurveda, but at some point your brain will put it all together and you will see how easy and natural it is. And that's going to be a great day when that transformation happens. Text me when it happens to you, because it's an exciting moment for all of us when that finally clicks in for anyone. So you'll learn to internalize Ayurveda's approach and methods. We'll teach you how to work with clients and communicate it. We have to be great communicators at Joyful Belly, because we have to teach you how to be a great communicator to your clients. One of the things that's really different about Ayurveda is that we don't treat the client. The client treats the client, right? Like if you go to an acupuncturist, they're going to do an assessment, and the Chinese medical model for the body is very similar to Ayurveda. They use different terms and they slice and dice it in a different way, but it is on some basic level shares many similarities to Ayurveda. But at the end of the day, your clients don't go home and stick needles in themselves in Ayurveda. When a client comes to an Ayurveda practitioner, we teach them how to support themselves. And so they have to go home and do it. What does that mean? That means that they have to understand you. What does that mean? That means that you have to understand us, right? It's not just going to be something where you say, take these 2 pills and call me in the morning. But we have to communicate the why and help you in understanding it so that you can apply it creatively and artfully. So we're going to teach you how to work with clients, how to apply that practical knowledge to lead your clients to new health and vitality. And it's going to feel good once you know that and understand it and begin offering it to others. So, so I want to just give you a few quotes from students, just so that you hear from them on how the course was, and not just, even beyond just the fact that they love the course, also pay attention to what about it that they love, so that you get an understanding of the flavor of the program in their words. So Angela Rosoff, who took the Digestion course 2 years ago, says, I feel like I'm bursting with bodily awakening. My skin is more vibrant than ever. This is so powerful. At this time of year, I want to share my gratitude for being a part of this transformative education. Ayurveda truly offers a new beginning. Another student from Ohio says, I am thankful and grateful for you and the creation of Joyful Belly and the MID program. You have a stellar group of teachers, yourself included, and I feel truly blessed to have been led down this path as part of my journey. Now, one of the things you get in an online program like this, yes, it's accessible. Yes, it's a lower price because we have lower overhead costs, and we can offer you an Ayurvedic education at roughly half the cost of anywhere else. But because we're an online program, we can bring in the best teachers from around the world, and we do that. Now, I've seen some other programs where they will fly other teachers in so that they can say, too, that, oh, well, this great teacher's in our program, or that great teacher's in our program. But the fact is that those great teachers can't show up week after week if they have to fly to get there. But in this online program, we can bring you great teachers, and they can show up week after week, and you can begin to develop a relationship with them, and they can be more mentors for you rather than you just get to hear them once or twice. And so that's great too. And I know that there's been a lot of, studies by the American Education Association and others showing why and how students retain more and learn more in an online program. And I'll just give you one or two hints to that also. Is that, you know, I'm the type of person where my mind is ready to learn between like 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. in the morning. And my wife, she learns best at night from like 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, if we were both enrolled in a traditional classroom, we would probably both have to learn the course material at 2 p.m. Well, that's when I like to take a nap, right? And so I'm not the best learner at 2 p.m., but I am a really great learner at 5 a.m. And in an online program where you have these pre-recorded presentations, you get to learn when your brain is fresh, and you also get to hit the pause button on the teacher when you want to make yourself some breakfast, and you get to hit the rewind button when you want to hear something again. And that's some of the reasons why people learn better in an environment like this, in addition to access to great teachers. So this is from a gastroenterologist who is in our course this year, medical doctor. She writes, as far as the course, it has been an eye-opening experience for me. As a pediatric gastroenterologist, there is so much I have been doing as an allopathic physician for the past 22 years that I wish I had stepped into Ayurveda sooner. It's not too late, however. As I grasp the Ayurvedic concept, understanding why, how, and what should be done has become easier, and I am enjoying that very much. Thank you. So that's just in the words of some of our students, and let's talk a little bit about why study Ayurveda. Study Ayurveda if you want to create something wholesome in the world. I explained why it's holistic. If you want a life of meaning and generosity, if you know that the natural way is the best foundation for health, and if you are inexplicably drawn to Ayurveda. Many people come to Ayurveda this way. When I first came into Ayurveda, it was actually after a period of resistance, because my way of expressing myself was always through food. I come from an Italian-American Catholic family. Food is a big part of our culture. Enjoying food together, cooking for people is the way I show that I love people. And so to me, I was very not interested in Ayurveda in the beginning because I thought Ayurveda was going to cramp my style as a chef. And I thought that Ayurveda would add all these rules that would restrict my creativity in cooking. Well, that's only true when the rules are wrong, right? When the rules are right, when the rules are because of nature and insight and the way the human tongue actually works. And it includes respect for how our tongue is designed to help us heal. The taste of the food and the health of the food come together in this beautiful way. And it took me about 2 years before I suddenly realized, the light bulb went off, that Ayurveda was actually going to help my creativity in the kitchen instead of undermine it. And I can't tell you how much Ayurveda has improved my ability to create delightful food, because its rules and guidelines were the rules of how to create tasty food and delicious food that makes a person feel wonderful. And so that was a surprise to me. And once that that light bulb went off, I looked into Ayurveda a little bit more, and then I was just drawn to it in this wholehearted way, and just dove into it completely with everything, with my whole person, with everything I could do, right? So some people are drawn to Ayurveda because of the tasty food that Ayurveda has. Some people are drawn into it because of the way it integrates physical health with spiritual health, because it's more than just a new herb to use, but it's a whole new way of thinking. And so they start to see in Ayurveda that there's something more, something uncanny, something a little bit exciting, and so they get enthusiastic about it, and then they pursue it with their whole person. Now, I know a lot of people who regret that they haven't studied Ayurveda, but after being a practitioner for many years and interacting with practitioners from many practitioners, I've never met an Ayurvedic practitioner that regrets studying Ayurveda, that regrets learning it. They all come out of Ayurveda still with that freshness of spirit, of a system that they absolutely love, and that's pretty amazing to see that. And I welcome you to contact practitioners and ask them, hey, do you still like this 10 years later? And I guarantee you, they will all say yes. So once people realize that they love Ayurveda, they naturally start to ask themselves some practical questions, like, is it a good career choice? And that's a wonderful question to ask yourself. And certainly it's one that I like to help people with before they enroll, during their enrollment, and after they graduate. So I'm available to anyone who's here tonight to talk to you about your vision for using Ayurveda as a career. I help people understand their mission with Ayurveda, how to put together a vision for how they might offer it and thrive doing that financially, just so that you can feel more confident jumping in if that's what you want to do, right? If it's your dream to study Ayurveda, then you can dot that I, cross that T, and put together a vision for why that might work for you, just by calling me, and we can talk through it. And I've counseled people not to take the program. There was one woman I was talking to, and after talking with her for a little while, we both realized that her mission was to do Montessori education with children. And I was like, okay, great. Well, I just saved you a year of effort or 2 years of effort. So, let me be your consultant if you wish. So, what about Ayurveda as a career choice? Well, I just want to mention that health and wellness expenditures in the world economy are more than 50% of health expenditures. So people are used to thinking of alternative medicine as alternative, but the fact is that Western medicine is the alternative. People spend more money on health and wellness than they do on physicians in the global economy. And the difference is of the $7.3 trillion spent on health, 4.2 trillion of that are spent in health and wellness. And so very interesting to know that. Yoga itself is a $16 billion industry in the US, and that's as of 2016. which was 4 years ago, and it's of course grown tremendously since then. And so there is a huge market for alternative health and wellness. Yes, you can have a thriving practical career in this economy, but like all careers, it's not just going to come for free, right? Like it's not just going to be something where you like, hang a sign and clients flood your clinical practice. No clinical practice works that way, whether Western medicine or not. What I tell all of the students is to get passionate about a particular health topic that's special to you, and that is what makes it so much easier to build a clientele. And we can talk about that, but having that focus. So even now, as you're thinking about enrolling in the program, you could just ask yourself that question. What health topics are special to me? And that will continue to unfold as you go through the program, as you learn about different health areas. You'll find maybe midway through the program that you gravitate towards a certain area and want to specialize in it. And you'll see, and there's lots of good reasons why that will give clients great confidence in you as you begin to offer it to the public. So great. Well, we have at Joyful Belly, we have upwards of 100,000 people a month visiting the Joyful Belly website. And so that's proof enough that there are just many, many people that are interested in Ayurveda, and people in your area that have health problems, the health problems that you're interested in, and will come to you for advice and for help. So I gave a teleconference a few years ago that was attended by 1,000 yoga teachers, Yoga Alliance yoga teachers, and that was 3 times of what they normally get for one of their teleconferences. And so I know that Ayurveda is a hot topic, and not just in the yoga community. I also gave a teleconference to a Christian group of alternative healers, and 1,600 people registered on Joyful Belly that same day. So it's not just something that's in the yoga community, but it's cross-cultural and many different backgrounds. If you live in a small town and you think that people couldn't possibly be interested in Ayurveda, that's just not true. I'll show you and talk to you about how to promote Ayurveda in your town, and how and why some of the small town Ayurveda practitioners are among the most successful, and there's good reasons for that. So, of course, you can't be successful in any profession without discipline and focus. But what I will say is that this course offers you the opportunity to be on a cutting edge of a trend. It's very easy for you to be the national expert in Ayurveda on some topic. Pick a topic like atopic dermatitis, something that someone mentioned earlier before the call when we were chatting. Well, is there another specialist in atopic dermatitis in the whole country in Ayurveda? Probably not. And you can come up with all kinds of specific disease conditions because you're on the cutting edge of that trend, where you can become a recognized leader in that area. So that opportunity's there if you want to pursue it. Yeah, great. So, there we go. There was a slide there, but I went over the material on it. So, what about our courses? What's unique about them? So, I've said some of it already, that we present Ayurveda in a way that's accessible to everyone. We don't hide behind mystical or exotic terms, but we teach Ayurveda in this very natural way so that you can offer it to your community, and that Ayurveda is very accessible. That's something very unique about our program. We've worked very hard on this. Great academics, right? And a smart teacher is not the teacher that can say a large number of difficult to understand vocabulary words, right? That's not what a great teacher is. A great academic, a great professor isn't someone that can confuse you very quickly because they're so smart and you're not, right? No, that's not a great professor. That's not great academics. That's not true intelligence either. What we think of as true intelligence is the ability to take complex ideas and make them very simple and accessible. That is the mark of true academic excellence. And that is what we aim for in this program. I hope we achieve it. I hope that tonight, as I'm talking, you can feel that my language is accessible and that you're getting an understanding of Ayurveda through very simple English terms, even as we talk. And that will be convincing to you that we'll be good at doing that throughout the whole program. So there's something that's very unique about Ayurveda, and only Ayurveda does this, and that is teaching. Ayurveda is meant to be taught. I told you, our clients don't go home and stick needles in themselves as if they're acupuncturists. We teach our clients how to help themselves in very simple ways using tools from their environment. So we have to teach you to be a teacher, and so we've got to be great teachers to do that. And when I hire a teacher for Joyful Belly, it's because that person has a calling to teach. It's not just because they're good at Ayurveda. That's not good enough for me. Our teachers are great communicators. And if they're not great communicators, they don't get to teach here. So we place great emphasis on the quality of teaching so that when you are done with this course, you'll be able to explain what you've learned to your husband, to your wife, to your family, your grandma and grandpa, your grandchildren, your friends, and they won't say, "What are you talking about?" They're going to say, "Wow, that makes a lot of sense." And that's why your practice will thrive after this course as well, because you'll be able to people will understand you, and so they will be drawn to that. All right. So my whole adult life, I have been a passionate teacher in one capacity or another. Even when I was a junior at Harvard University, where I got my degree in mathematics and computer science, my bachelor's, my teachers hired me to be a teaching fellow for undergraduate classes. And I was the only undergraduate in my department who was also a teaching fellow. And I started teaching then. I taught at the Harvard Extension School for several years after I graduated. And ever since then, my entire life, I have been a teacher in one capacity or other. It's a true calling for me. It's something I'm passionate about. And it's something I love to do. You can hear that today as I'm talking, that I love to be explaining these things to you. So, yeah, so those are some of the things that I think is unique. Our communication, great academics, which means making complex processes easy to understand without losing any of the richness. We will never dumb something down, ever. We can present it in all of its richness, but we just make it easy to understand. And that takes dedication. That takes real dedication. And a lot of behind the scenes work. So our goal, and we started with this goal, is to bring Ayurveda into people's homes, to reach everyone in our country with Ayurveda. And so we want great students. We want to explain things in a great way. So great, good. I'm going to just skip over some of the next things on my notes here because I've already explained them. Rigorousness. Your clients will expect you to own your knowledge. And this is why we say focus in an area that you, like a special health issue that you really are interested in. Because clients are going to expect you to really own your knowledge, to know their symptoms and disorders through and through, that you can speak intelligently and comprehensively to them. And so our program is rigorous. Our program is rich. And you'll feel a certain security that you know your stuff. We're going to go beyond the basic requirements. That, there's the Ayurveda Health Counselor level is a standard that is put out by the industry. We conform to that standard and we exceed it. We're looking to make you a great counselor. and give you the confidence that you need to offer it to the public. So great. Next question that people ask me about is licensure. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm a little ahead of myself here. I don't know where my licensure slide went. Licensure. Next question people ask is about licensure. We can't give you a license to practice medicine. Nobody can do that except unless you go to med school. Ayurveda, nobody but a medical doctor has the license to practice medicine. Ayurveda is an unlicensed profession. Well, what does that mean? You know, what does that legal language mean? And if something's unlicensed, it means it's legal. It's legal, right? That it's legal to practice Ayurveda in this country. That means it's legal to practice Ayurveda without a certification. Is it a good idea for you to start practicing Ayurveda without attending our course? I don't think so, but you can legally do it. What you can't do is diagnose or treat a medical disease. You can educate people. You can educate people on the way Ayurveda treats a disease, but you can't tell a particular person, you have cancer and this is going to fix it. You can't diagnose the cancer. You can't give them medicine for it. So what does that mean? That means that you have to be careful with how you speak. You have to be more humble. And that humility is a great thing. Here's what I tell my clients. You know, that lump, you know, if you have a lump in your body somewhere, I'll say, you know, that lump is disconcerting. Maybe you should get that checked by a medical doctor. Here's how Ayurveda deals with lumps in the body in a person with a constitution like yours. Is this a good fit for you? You should check it out. You should participate in your health and wellness plan and become educated. But here's the things that I see, or here's the area that Ayurveda says, you know, what Ayurveda says to do for that. And now you go and check that out, right? It's a little bit more, you have to speak with a little bit of humility, and that humility is awesome and wonderful. Do you want to claim, even if you're a medical doctor, that something's going to heal their cancer? I wouldn't want to say that. I'm not that, you know, in a way, I don't know if I would say egotistical to make a statement like that. I would probably say the same exact language to my client if I was a medical doctor. So you got to be a little careful. But people always ask about licensing, always asking about certification. People even ask about joining certain certification bodies. So so Joyful Belly, our school is recognized by APNA, the the Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America, recognizes our program. If you take our Ayurveda Health Counselor course, you can register with them as an Ayurveda Health Counselor. And if you like to have that credential, we are certified by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. We're accredited through them. And you can get your certification as a health coach through them. But I'll say it again, you do not need to be certified by any of these organizations. They don't add anything, any legal basis to your practice. We will give you a certificate, and you can hang that on your wall as an Ayurveda health counselor, and that is more than enough for you. But you can join these other organizations if you wish. So let's see here. Student body. So as I mentioned earlier, I started my adult life as a mathematician and computer scientist at Harvard University. Math was an art form for me. I thought it revealed truth, and I was deeply interested in deeper truths. And of course, math did teach me a lot about truth, but there was a humanistic element missing from math, right? There's something more than a human is something more than math, something very special, something very wonderful. And so I moved on from mathematics as a basic field for me, and started expanding my scope. I went into business for a while and did that whole .com thing. raised venture capital and, rode the wave up, rode it back down. And then I had a sort of moment where I realized, okay, well, business taught me a lot about people, but there's also something about people that is deeper than you could get in just in business. And I decided to go into health because I wanted to understand people on a much more personal level. And so that journey has been fascinating for me through those different, different focuses. And as I said, I came to Ayurveda after wrecking my digestive tract and needing to heal it after living in Bangladesh for a year and working in the villages in Bangladesh for clean water on a project with Columbia University. And that was a great project, but my digestive tract was destroyed at the end of it. So I used Ayurveda to heal myself. So, I'm an example of an Ayurvedic student, right? And how I came to Ayurveda. What about some of our other students? They say our other students are nurse practitioners who want to improve quality of life care. They're yoga teachers who want to integrate body awareness of the musculoskeletal system with the rest of the body, internal organs and food and nutrition. They're estheticians, spa owners, and dermatologists who recognize that beauty comes from within. They're medical doctors that want to educate their clients with a preventative approach and to broaden the scope of their practice. Functional medicine practitioners who want to explore a complete system of medicine. Nutritionists and dietitians who want to up their game when it comes to food and see beyond the chemicals in the food to something that's a little bit more common sense, everyday approach. Mental health workers and social workers who recognizes that food plays an important role in psychological health. And the general public and anyone who's enthusiastic about Ayurveda can come in and join the program. So what do people do after they graduate? They integrate Ayurveda into their existing health practice if they have one. They integrate Ayurveda into their yoga classes. They offer retreats. They create an Ayurvedic practice from scratch. They teach Ayurveda at hospitals, spas, universities, and at retreat centers and workshop locations and anywhere and everywhere. One of our students was cooking was an Ayurvedic health chef for a celebrity yacht, and that was very interesting. Another student went on to write books and create movies about Ayurveda, to sell and create Ayurvedic herbal products. They become personal trainers and health coaches. One student became part of a policy advocacy group at a hospital. Any situation where you're taking care of people, Ayurveda is appropriate, including children, the elderly, as a nurse practitioner, etc. So I had one of our students helped children who were autistic with Ayurveda, and she was a psychologist. So a little bit more again about the course format. The Fundamentals of Natural Medicine, 2 years, 180 pre-recorded presentations. Each week you get 3 presentations and 3 live reviews, a weekly quiz for each presentation that you fill out while you're listening, body awareness experiments. And then stage 2, the 50 plus, it's actually 95 supervised clinical encounters, forms and legal parameters for your business, how to run your business, entrepreneurship, special topics like pregnancy, postpartum, the eyes, ear, nose, throat, all those, numerous specialty topics as well for application in year 2. In the Digestion and Nutrition Program, it's, again, 3 live classes per week, 60 pre-recorded presentations, and each week you get a main lecture, you get an optional supplemental lecture, a quiz, a body awareness experiment, and a case study. And at the end, you'll develop a therapeutic protocol to share with other students and also with your clients when you're done. Our programs, every class is recorded. So if you have a 2-week vacation plan next January, no problem. Listen to the recordings. There's a minimum number you have to attend live. If you want to register with OPNA or other programs, we can talk to you about that if that's a concern. And yeah, there's a lot of flexibility. You can go to the beach, and if while your kids are surfing, you can listen to a lecture and take notes on the beach, and then jump in the waves, when you're done with the lecture. So that's the power of an online program, and it's really great flexibility that way. So your time commitment is going to be about 12 to 13 hours a week through the fundamentals course, and through the digestion course, 8 to 12 hours a week. Assignments and tests are graded pass-fail. It's a non-competitive and supportive environment. Lots of interaction between folks. We're a kind of nexus for people who may not know other people who are interested in Ayurveda. So you get to communicate with other students through online chat forums and groups and things like that, so that our students all really get to know each other. Lots of our students collaborate on presentations and things after they graduate, and that's nice too. Calls are generally attended between 20 to 40 students. If we have a large class, we'll just split the class, so that we maintain a good teacher-student ratio. Yeah, we talked about some of these others as well. So that's the basics on the format. Let me see if I can pull up here. Hold on. There's some notes on curriculum. Let me see. I want to look at this as you guys. Oh, hold on. So if you're still looking at my screen here, if you scroll down on the fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine course, which you can get at here, you can take a look at all the details in the course. And in particular, I'll talk about the curriculum and what it includes. One, you'll see the full course outline and scope of topics, which is pretty deep. I mean, if you look through my screen here, you're just going to see all the stuff you're going to learn. And it's a pretty long document here, which I can't go through in this call. It'll take me 3 or 4 hours just to go through the whole list. But you can see the course outline and scope of topics from the page here, where it'll just go over every single thing that, all the major topics that you're learning. From philosophy to pathogenesis to treatment models, Ayurvedic systems of the body, waste products, all the big topics in Ayurveda, all the nitty-gritty too, and you can see some of them on this page too. Ayurveda psychology, use of herbs and preparations, Ayurvedic nutrition and cooking, disease development, which is really fascinating the way Ayurveda looks at pathogenesis. If any of the Western doctors that are used to studying on the call tonight, that are used to studying pathogenesis, Ayurveda is going to really blow that out, and that'll be pretty exciting. So the digestive course, let me just pull that one up. The digestion course curriculum. Let's see here. These lectures, we're going to go through all major digestive tract disorders from the Ayurvedic perspective. Totally different perspective. And each of these disorders we chose not just because it'll help you heal that disorder, but because it's representative of a pattern that's happening in the digestive tract. That when you're learning about acid reflux, you're not just learning about acid reflux, but a particular pattern of imbalance in the digestive tract that's broader than just acid reflux. And so you'll see, we'll go through mouth, stomach, liver, pancreas, small intestine, colon, and cleansing protocols in that program. And each of those, we're going to go really deep. And also, you will see how that those principles that you learn in each lecture can be applied more broadly. So that's fascinating. One of the things in this course that I think is really great is that you will know food to such a degree, on such a level, that you will be able to tell a food's pharmacological effects through your taste and experience of digesting the food. That, when you look at some of these ancient pharmacology texts, right, where you see like the Roman textbook of herbal medicine, right, from 2,000 years ago. You see this huge dictionary of herbs that the Romans used for medicine, or modern pharmacopoeias with the same information. And you just see like, oh, cramp bark is used for these conditions, et cetera, et cetera. How did those ancient herbalists, figure out that what cramp bark was used for? And why they even name it cramp bark in the first place? Well, did they do a double-blind control statistical analysis, blah, blah, blah? Did they randomly test each herb on each condition to find out what it's good for? No, no way. What those ancient herbalists did was they learned how to interpret their bodily experiences. They ate cramp bark, and they sat in contemplation and noted how cramp bark made them feel. And because of their level of experience, they were able to articulate how those experiences are well matched to different and various conditions. And that's what we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you how to experience food so that you will be able to come up with the medicinal effects and herbal actions of a food that you've never studied. Maybe you'll take a trip to the Congo in Africa and eat some new leaf one day, and you'll be like, oh, I've been eating this leaf for 3 days, and wow, this would be great for IBS, or this would be a perfect herb for Parkinson's disease. That skill is what we teach in the Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion Nutrition program, so that everything you do, you start to learn how that's medicinal. And when I was an Ayurvedic student, one of the other students was was like really into riding horses, and so she brought her horse from Maine to the desert where we were studying Ayurveda. Now, how did that horse, who was used to eating the grasses of Maine, how did that horse learn how to survive in the desert by eating random plants? Well, it knows how to do that because the horse has spent its entire life trying to figure out which plants were poisonous and which plants were food and which plants had which medicinal effects. In a way, though, like your dog, when your dog is sick, it goes out and eats certain grasses and things. Well, there's some intuitive knowledge we have as human beings to be able to understand food, even if we don't read a textbook about it. And we're going to teach you that skill and how to interpret food as medicine through your living personal experiences. And I think that is just a very unusual and great skill. So how to register? Well, let me just jump back to the page. So when you're ready to sign up, you can just hit this button here, this big red button, register now, from the course page. And that is how you sign up for the payment plan. It's $250 a month to enroll in the course. And that will go up at the end of the month, which is tomorrow, just because you only have until you have to finish paying off the course between now and graduation. So each month you have fewer months to pay it off, so the price goes up. Not that the total tuition goes up. The total tuition does not go up, but just the number of months you have to pay it off goes down. So that's why the price goes up. That's why the monthly amount goes up. If you were going to pay the whole thing up front, you can put a $600 deposit and then pay the rest of it off before the first day of class, and you will get a $250 discount if you do that for the digestion course. And also in the fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine course, you can't pay off the whole amount up front. You can only pay year by year up front. So if you pay the first year up front, then we'll give you a $125 discount. When you pay the second year up front, you'll get another $125 discount. So that's how you register. And also, if you have any questions about register, I know this is a big decision. The people in your life are going to be affected by it. I'll even tell you what are the biggest factors for most people when they're considered registering. It's always time, money, and support, right? Do you have the time to take the class? Can you afford it? And three, do you have support? You know, if the people from the stakeholders in your life, maybe you have a job and your hours are going to have to change. So you have to communicate that to the people you work for. Or maybe you have a spouse or other folks in your life who your choice is going to affect them. Talk about it with them. Tell them what your new routine is going to be, when you're going to learn, etc. You might have questions like, when are class times in the program? Well, ask me, and I can give you that information so that you can tell the stakeholders in your life about it. As far as affordability goes, most people spend more on their groceries and way more on their groceries than the monthly tuition. The total tuition amounts for the fundamentals course is $6,499. For the digestion course, $4,499. And for a whole year of study or 2 years of study, those prices are very competitive, mainly because we don't have to maintain a whole building, right? We are able to offer this at a competitive price to you online. And I know, you know, that can still be a strain for someone, but also I'll just say that that those fees are just very reasonable, and and there may be, and again, if it would increase your confidence, I can talk to you about a vision for your future use of Ayurveda as a career, and just give you a few pointers so that you can feel like, oh yeah, that's exactly how to do it. So because you can see it from A to Z, that might increase your confidence a bit. For time, I'll give you, if time is the main one, I will give you the study tricks. In fact, I'm going to give this to everyone who registers. As soon as you register, I will contact you within a week, a few days to a week, and scheduling a call where you and I can sit on the phone for a half hour, and I'm going to tell you best practices for studying in an online program and how you can be very efficient and even reduce that time that I told you earlier. So whether it's time or money or support, if that's the obstacle, if Ayurveda is your dream and one of those is an obstacle, don't just throw your dream away, right? Like, talk to me and I can tell you how other students solve that issue. Here's my cell phone number, and just text me anytime. My cell phone number is 828-785-8213. And I'm on WhatsApp for the international people who are on this call. It's 828-785-8213. And of course, if you're dialing from internationally, the +1 before that. But feel free to WhatsApp me. Feel free to text me, and we can talk. And I can answer your questions and point you in a direction. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to question and answer. What questions do you have for me? What do you want to know? I'm happy to answer it. And let me just, actually, everyone should be in a place where they can unmute themselves, because I didn't. Where is it? Where's all the participants? Yeah, you can unmute yourself. I'm gonna try unmuting people though, because I think some people
good.
Good. And I'll try to find the lines where if there's any noise coming over, I'll try to find the line and shut it off. But
hey,
I want to thank all of you. Oh, one more second.
Oh, you should. It's really, really good.
One more second. Yeah. I want to thank all of you for coming today, and for taking an interest in your body, for taking an interest in your communities, for taking an interest in health. That is awesome. It's a great thing. And I also, especially on a personal level, I'm, just thank you for being interested in Joyful Belly and choosing to check us out. So let me unmute the lines then again, and I will try to find the lines that are noisy and mute them, so there may just be a little noise for a minute or two there. But ask me a question and give me a chance to answer it.
Down here, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Anybody?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. What's your name too?
So,
In regard to the 10-month class and then the 750-hour class, you had talked about the more broad class. It has like a clinical and supervisory type portion in the second year.
Yeah.
It's really the flavors are incredible.
Yeah. What about the one that
The
has
flavors
the
are really,
supervisory
really
part in the
great.
second year? What's your
I
question?
really like that type of flavoring.
Hold on. There is some background noise, but I think I know which line is yours. So let me mute the other lines and I'll unmute yours.
Really good.
Or maybe I got the wrong line. Can you just say your question again?
Yes. So my question was in regard to both courses. I think you had mentioned that the one course had, like in the second year, it had like a clinical type or supervisory.
Yes.
Okay. So then what would that look like? Like, are we able to do that locally since this is an online type program?
Oh,
And
yeah.
also, okay.
Yeah, great question. Because I wanted to mention this, but I haven't mentioned it yet. So I'm really glad you asked this question. First of all, yes, you will meet with clients locally. You'll meet with fellow students first, and then you'll meet with clients locally, and then you'll present your findings to the teacher before giving your clients their recommendation. So, and how will clinical supervision go is you're going to take pictures of your client, and we're going to show you pictures in the case studies. And this is what I wanted to mention from before. When I was a student in a traditional classroom and our teachers brought in clients, I was like 4 rows behind other students, and the teacher was like 15 feet in front of the students. What I'm trying to say is that the client was like 40 feet from me, and I could barely see the client's tongue. What you're going to do is take a picture of the client's tongue, or we'll show you a picture of the client's tongue when we're doing the case studies, and you're going to see this like big, beautiful blow up of the tongue that that you couldn't even see. Like even when I meet with clients locally, I take a picture of their tongue and show it on the computer, because then the client and I can talk about their tongue. And so we're going to use multimedia to make the clinical presentation piece come alive in a way that you couldn't get in person. And so, yeah, you'll meet with clients locally, and then we're going to discuss those cases online, and we'll have pictures, and we'll zoom in on people's faces and on their eyeballs and tongue and things like that to really bring it home.
Thank you. That
You're
answers my
welcome.
question. Actually, and then I have a second part to that, if I could ask real quick.
Yeah, please do.
So, okay, thank you. So then I was also interested in the 10-month course. Will that be an aspect of that course as well, or like the
Yes, you will
like the
see.
clinical type? Okay.
You will see clients in that course as well, but the amount of clinical instruction is less in that program, and here's why. Most of the people who come into that program are already health practitioners in one shape or another. Now, it's a prerequisite for that course that you have some background in health and wellness, so that you, but we do allow some people who don't have prior professional background in health and wellness into that course. And here's that exception. Like what we want in the digestion program is in a way, a professional student body who's going to really contribute to the richness of the program. And so what we'll do, if you don't have a professional background for the digestion course only, then I will, like, I've talked to people and I'm like, okay, take a picture of your bookshelf. And then I look at the books on their bookshelf and I ask them questions from those books. You know, so tell me about this chapter in that book. And then from their answer, I can tell that they've been dedicated in the health field for quite a while. And it's not just a random new interest that they have. For the fundamentals course, we teach that course from the ground up. We hit the ground running, yes, but you also will get, you can just, if you've never been interested in health before and this is your first course, that course is fine for you to join in. The digestion course, we want people in that course who already have demonstrated a long-standing interest in health or already in a health profession. So there's a little bit less clinic in that one, just because the practitioners are generally more experienced. But it does include clinic in both of them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there Sanskrit classes at all?
We give the Sanskrit for each throughout the program. We give all the Sanskrit vocabulary. We teach in English and give the Sanskrit. So that way you will get that the definition of each Sanskrit word when it's introduced.
Hi, John. Kind of piggybacking off that question, is there any, do we talk any deeper about like the history of Ayurveda in either course?
Absolutely. In the fundamentals course, we talk about the history. Okay. Yeah, because the digestion course is about digestion, and we're using Ayurveda for digestion. The fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine course is about Ayurveda. So we give extensive lecturing in the history, cultural context, and philosophy behind Ayurveda. In fact, that's a particular strength of mine, as you can imagine, as a mathematician background. The philosophy part is a really important, a really important foundation, and to the way Ayurveda people think, because that's really what we're trying to communicate, is how to think the way an Ayurveda practitioner thinks. And so, yes, you'll get that in the program.
Cool. And can I just ask one more thing?
Yes.
With the digestive course, since we are focusing on the digestive system, like internally,
Yeah.
do we also learn about like the effects? You mentioned looking at the tongue, so would we also do like tongue analysis, eye analysis? Because obviously if there's something going on in the gut, likely it'll show up on the tongue and in the eyes and the skin as well.
I missed a few. I couldn't hear. The connection cut out for a few words. Can you just say your question again?
Yep. So with the digestive course,
Yeah.
Will we also learn about how the digestive system affects and relates to external changes in the body? So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
tongue,
Absolutely.
Okay.
The tongue, how it affects, like looking at the tongue. What does the tongue tell you about the body? What does the skin tell you about the body? In fact, each of our organs does something really important for our health. So whenever there's an imbalance in one of our organs, you can see it everywhere in the body. So we'll teach you how to like look at a person's skin and be like, oh, they have a weak colon. Or you look at a person's tongue and you're like, oh, their kidneys are their adrenals are deficient or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. And that skill is not a hard skill, because our organs do really important things. So you can see it when they're not doing those important things well.
Amazing.
Do
Thank
we need prior physiology and anatomy?
You will get a lot of physiology and anatomy in the fundamentals course, and you will get digestive tract anatomy and physiology in the digestion course. Yes. So yeah, every one of our lectures has A and P. Yeah.
Would it help to have a college level course?
There is one certifying body that if you want to get certified through them, that will require a college level course in A&P. But we have a lot of A&P in the program, and yeah, if you want to do more A&P, that's only going to help you. So that's one of those things where if like you register now, you can do the A&P beforehand. And in fact, registering now is a really great way to go. We'll send you the textbooks and the required reading list, and you can get a head start on that. And that is just going to make the course a lot easier for you, and you will penetrate the wisdom of the course on a much deeper level. Like, what if you start the course having read the textbook already, right? I mean, or having done an A&P course already. You're definitely going to be like our superstar student when you do that. And so I recommend that. And, yeah, so I would say if you want to do more A&P, go for it and start that required reading when you register. Who else has a question?
John, I have a quick question for you. Now, I went to culinary school and I'm also a certified EMT. Would that be enough to do the master's in digestion? Because really, I'm interested in how food and herbs and things can help people. And I would like to grow things and be able to sell some of the herbs and things that I grow, and have a practice that is more like starting in the fields with the things that are grown, and then be able to teach people how to use them and how to use them through food and how to be able to treat themselves in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As an EMT, and also having some knowledge of food, we've had, I think that's, you're coming to the course as a professional. You're going to be adding, how awesome is it to have people who know food deeply in the program, contributing to the program. So that would definitely qualify you as an asset to our student body.
Okay, great.
John, I have a question about cost.
Yes.
You said $250 a month, and that was for 10 months. Is that correct?
That's for the digestion course, yes.
For the digestion.
Oh, no, it's not for 10 months. It's for now until you graduate. So I think that's like, the total cost is $4,499. So whatever $4,499 divides into in terms of months, that's the number of months. The course is 10 months,
okay.
But the payments are not 10 months.
Okay, that's what confused me, because 10 months came up somewhere basically as the duration of the course. So the actual duration of the course is more than 10 months. It's a whole year?
No, the duration of the course is 10 months, but the payments last until you pay it off. So when you when you sign up, you start making monthly payments, even though the course hasn't started yet. And basically, we spread it out as much as possible so that the monthly payment is low enough, because some people just can't drop $4,500 in a single month. So they sign up for the monthly payment, spreads it out, and then they can pay it off.
Okay, then the second part of this question is a little bit unrelated, basically, but on your website, okay, I had signed up for 2 of your personal books, the body book and the recipe book.
Yes.
Who could I talk to basically about getting a little bit more guidance on them? Because I'm a bit confused on how to use them.
On how to use the book itself?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so for guidance on your personal health, that would be like getting a consultation with one of our teachers. One of our teachers would be recommended for that. For use of the book itself, you can just write study@joyfulbelly.com, and they will, that's our customer support. So they will walk you through it if you need it.
Okay, so that's study, STUDY?
Yep, study@joyfulbelly.com.
Okay, thank you.
How can we schedule a meeting with you to clear up our vision?
Text me at 828-785-8213. And I have my phone with me right here. So if you text me, I can tell you whether I got it or not.
Okay.
And then we can...
Can you repeat?
The number? Yeah, actually...
Yeah.
I wrote it in the comments already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it in the chat here. 828-785-8213. And my email is john@joyfulbelly.com. That's JOHN @joyfulbelly.com. So I see one person asked, what day of the week will there be live classes? The Digestive Course live classes are Tuesday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All these times are Eastern Time. Tuesday night, 7 to 8:30, Wednesday, noon to 1, and Friday, 11 to noon. And we found that those time slots make Ayurveda available to people in any time zone. You know, we have students in Australia, and it turns out with that mix that they can attend from Australia or New Zealand or Japan or Saudi Arabia or England. There's like a time zone in that fits for everyone.
Is that
Yes?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Is that written down somewhere?
What's that?
Is the schedule written down somewhere?
Let me see. I don't know if it's on the actual page. I can type it into the chat box here. This is Tuesday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Wednesday, 12 to 1 p.m. and Friday, 11 to 12 noon. So that should cover. And Michaela, I did get your text. And Jane, I got your text too. And I see another person texting me too, but I can't see your name. So, great. And for the fundamentals course, the classes there, if I can get this from memory, I think they're 12 to 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday. And I have to look up the rest of the fundamentals one for this year, because that one changes every year slightly because it's a 2-year program. So I have to, let me just look up that last one was for fundamentals, not the digestion. I don't want anyone to get confused. There's 3 classes a week in each course. So I have to look up those ones. So yeah, text me anyone who wants the times for the fundamentals course, and I will get back to you on that. Any other questions?
How long have you been running these programs, and about how many students have gone through them?
So I've been running our online school for 10 years. We started doing online education as soon as Joyful Belly was founded. We ran the Digestion Program for 7 years, and this coming year is our 4th year running the fundamentals course. We ran a precursor to the fundamentals course for about like 3 or 4 years before that also.
Hi. Oh, my mind is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hello, John.
Yes.
I have a question. When does the digestion course start? Was that October or August? I forget.
The digestion course starts the 2nd Tuesday in October. The fundamentals course starts the last Wednesday in August. Although I think this year we're starting it. Let me just take a quick look at the last. Oh yeah, because the class day is Tuesday this year. It's the last Tuesday in August.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So the 25th of August for fundamentals, and let me just look up the October date for October. The digestion course should be October 13th this year as the start date. Although I have to check, it may be the 6th. Hold on, let me just do a quick check. October 6th. The digestion course starts October 6th this year. Tuesday, October 6th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
How many teachers are there?
We have about 6 teachers. And you can see the faculty online. If you go to the course page, and at the top, you'll see faculty in the top nav bar, and you can check out our faculty. Great questions.
Sorry, is this school in relation to any programs in India?
No. No, we don't have any relation to any programs in India.
I don't have any more questions, but I just wanted to thank you for your time and for this intro. You had a lot of really good information, so I just wanted to thank you. And so am I able to register now?
You are.
Or
right now.
okay, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Well, you guys have been a great group, and I'll let you get back to your lives. I want to thank you again for your interest, even staying after the presentation, asking questions. It was a great opportunity to clarify those things. Every one of your questions was probably questions that other people had but didn't know they had. Oh, I see another one here. Faith is asking, what can we anticipate spending on textbooks alone? They're not included in tuition, right? Yeah, they're not included in tuition. Textbooks, our recommended reading list is pretty extensive. Our required reading list is pretty minimal. So it should be under $100 in textbooks. And I think it's even less than that. But your total extra expenditures in the program, I think it's about $500 for the fundamentals course. By the time you look at consultations and reading and the food experiments and herb experiments, and with the digestion course, there's some test kits and things like that. So the digestion course is about, I think, $300 extra over the. So yeah, $500 over the 2 years for the fundamentals, and $300 extra over the digestion course. So another great question. And let me do a quick run through of the chat box if I've missed anything. Linda asked, do we have to make all 3 classes? No, you'll have to, if you can't make a particular class, what you'll do is you'll attend by recording. Very few students can attend all 3 classes. You know, there's a work conflict, or I teach a workshop that night, or whatever, right? There's always some conflict in people's real lives. Life events come up, all that kind of stuff, Linda. So the typical student can attend 2 out of 3 of those, but some students can attend 1 out of 3. If you have any particular concerns around that, let me know, but you'll just listen to the recordings. Amanda asked if we have student funding. We don't, Amanda. We pretty much just offer the course for a really competitive price. I wish we could, do better than that, even, but that's really the best we can do. Let's see if there's any, Amanda, yes, I'm going to send out the recording to this lecture tomorrow, so you'll get it. And let's see if anybody else.
So John, now your digestive program,
Yes.
the Masters in Digestion, is a more in-depth kind of specialized program.
That's
right?
more in depth in the area of digestion, and it's specialized. And here's the thing with that, Doug, is that it is because it's specialized. It is I would say it's like a very it's like easy to apply it practically, right? Because like you
Right.
come out, if your clients, your future clients are like mine, my clients wake up in the morning and they have a specific problem that they want a solution. So they wake up in the morning and they say something like, my stomach hurts and I want to feel better, right? Like they don't wake up in the morning and say, I need Ayurveda today. What they say is, I need my stomach problem fixed today. And so when you're promoting your practice out to the public, what you want to do is talk about their specific problem. And this is nothing new. I mean, this is what, if you drive down the road and you see a Western medical doctor advertising their services, you never see them say something like, I'm a great medical doctor, hire me, or come to see me. They don't say that. What they say is, I've been treating diabetes for 10 years, or I have a practice that specializes in heart disease. We're a premier, Jacksonville heart specialist for you and your family. And because they're speaking to the particular need and the particular problem, they come to you with the confidence that, wow, this person specializes in it, they can probably help me, right? And so
Right.
the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion Nutrition course has that real practical edge because you're going so deep into that digestion area that you can really talk to the client in the terms of the problem that they have. Like, do you have a digestive problem? I specialize in that. Or need having a gallbladder problem? I specialize in that. And so it turns out that no matter which program you go in, you're going to want to speak about the client's specific problem and have specialized knowledge in that area. And so you're going to do that in both courses. But the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion Nutrition course really goes deep in the area of digestion, and so you're just basically coming out of that with really fresh knowledge in that specialized area. So there's a real practical application to that course, which is why I even recommend it for all of our students.
So now also, if you do the fundamentals and then decide you wanted to do something else, do you offer other courses for other specializations?
We don't. And the particular reason for that is because, we can't be master of everything. What we want to do is we want to be like even better at digestion by not, diverting attention from in 10 different directions. Does that make sense? So we'll just leave it to others to, so you might graduate from the Ayurveda Fundamentals course and you may, do a self-study in a particular area and apply that right after graduation. Or you might register in a skincare, program, or you might be looking at offering Ayurveda to a particular population. Like, for example, you might decide to offer Ayurveda to postpartum moms or something along those lines where you're dealing with a specific population. And then you're going to study that population instead of a particular health issue. And so, there's just different ways that you would want to scope out your market segment, the population that you aim to serve, and then you'll develop specific expertise in that area.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. May asked the total cost of the digestion course and both courses, and I'll just stick that up back up on the slides again. It's $6,499 for the health counselor course, the 2-year one, and $4,499 for the digestion course. Do you address hormonal imbalances in your class? Says Ash in the chat box. In the fundamentals course, yes. Less about hormones in the digestive tract but we do talk about digestive, hormones, but we don't talk about hormones generally in that class. Faith asked about time and day of week. I put that in the chat box a little earlier, Faith, for the digestion course, and you'll just have to text me for the fundamental course because I don't have that. I don't have the exact times in memory. Great. Any other questions? All right. Well, you guys officially kept me the longest after a presentation of any group. So that's a really good sign. And I'm excited that we had a chance to talk. And feel free to just keep asking questions. Text me, email me. My number is again 828-785-8213. And I'm happy to clear up any questions you have. So have a great night, everybody. And we'll be in touch.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
John. Have a great night.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.